Good afternoon. From the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now. I'm Paige Browning with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Wednesday, April 8th. Starting out with a drought. After several dry years in a row, Washington state declared another statewide drought emergency this morning. Officials are calling for improved planning as droughts become more common in the future. Northwest Public Broadcasting's Anna King reports.
April 1st was when the state should have hit its snowpack peak. But as Northwest skiers and snowmobilers will tell you, this year was pretty much a bust in the high country. This snow drought and dry conditions in many lower basins means trouble for fish, farms, and fire later this year.
This year is an example of conditions we expect to see more often in the future.
That's Caroline Mellor, the lead expert on drought with Washington's Department of Ecology.
By the 2050s, new studies out of the University of Washington project that we'll see a snowpack drought 7 out of every 10 years.
Mellor says that future snowpack droughts could lead to more floods and not enough water for cities. I'm Anna King.
The Seattle City Council has approved a $4 billion deal for Seattle City Light to continue using the Skagit River for hydropower. As part of the agreement, Seattle will spend nearly $1 billion for salmon habitat restoration. Scientists and Native American tribes say the dams have destroyed fish habitat for more than 100 years. Sauk-Suiattle Tribe legal counsel Jack Fyander thanked the council for its work to start repairing the harm.
The agreement before you, if fulfilled in good faith, will make things right for the next 50 years.
City Light says the Skagit dams generate about 20% of the city's electricity. Under the deal, utility bills are expected to increase 0.5% each year from 2027 to 2032. The bill now heads to Mayor Katie Wilson's desk for a signature. The first American to summit Mount Everest and the first employee of REI has died. Jim Whittaker died Tuesday at age 97 in his home in Port Townsend, according to an obituary in the Cascadia Daily News. He summited Mount Everest in 1963 alongside Sherpa Nawang Gambu. He talked about his historic climb in an interview with Seattle College's cable TV.
Everest was a real shocker because I didn't know it would be as well publicized. We came back and there was a ticker tape parade in Seattle, and suddenly, it was the world news. It was written up in Time magazine, and it went back and we got a gold medal. I got a gold medal from President Kennedy, and it opened up all kinds of doors.
He and his twin brother Lou Whittaker, who died 2 years ago, founded what's now called RMI Expeditions, a tour company at the base of Mount Rainier. Remembrances are coming in from Senator Maria Cantwell, former governor and friend Jay Inslee, and descendants of Robert F. Kennedy, whom he was close with. To the courts today, masked ICE agents made a brief return to the immigration court in Seattle Tuesday. They arrested a man after a hearing on his asylum case. Video from the man's attorney shows around 9 plainclothes ICE agents who surround and then handcuff him.
Why are you detaining him? Why are you detaining him? He has a court date.
That's Ellie Via Malone, the man's attorney. She says her client's now being held at the Tacoma immigration lockup. Malone says he's been unlawfully detained and is planning to sue to get him released. She says he has no criminal record and he was expected back at court early next month. This is the only known instance this year of ICE making an arrest at the Seattle Immigration Court. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates has agreed to talk to the House Oversight Committee about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. CNBC reports the closed-door meeting scheduled for June 10th. Gates apologized to the Gates Foundation staff earlier this year for any fallout resulting from his ties to Epstein. Gates has admitted to having affairs with 2 women that Epstein was aware of. But Gates has said, quote, "I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit." Expect to see more Seattle police officers at Magnuson Park starting today. SPD will staff 3 officers there as part of a new Neighborhood Resource Officers program. They say some neighbors have requested their presence. SPD plans to expand this program to the Little Saigon area and downtown along 3rd Avenue later this year. This Friday evening, the Artemis II crew expects to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. And when that happens, technology from the Pacific Northwest will take center stage. Joshua McNichols has more.
When Artemis II launched, powerful rocket engines pushed it into space. But on the way back, small thrusters keep the capsule-pointed heat shield down so it doesn't burn up in the atmosphere. The thrusters were made at L3 Harris in Redmond. Nikita Satyan joined the company after graduating from college.
It's pretty surreal, especially because you go to school and you learn all of these things and you think, I'm going to become a rocket engineer. And then you go actually work on rockets, and seeing the kinds of things you work on come to life, it's pretty crazy.
After splashdown just off the California coast, the astronauts will still need to get out. That's when a hatch release system from a company in Mukilteo will blow the door off. Joshua McNichols, KUOW News.
Moving from space science to Earth, some fire experts say cuts to the U.S. Forest Service could hamper firefighting efforts this summer. The agency is shutting down most of its research stations, including in Seattle, Portland, and Wenatchee. John Ryan reports.
The Forest Service says researchers won't lose their jobs, but they will have to move to different locations. University of Washington scientist Susan Pritchard collaborates with several researchers whose stations are closing.
Whenever people are required to uproot and move, that disrupts their ability to conduct place-based research, including what's happening in this upcoming wildfire season, which will be a doozy.
The lab in Seattle specializes in wildland fire. Pritchard says the lab will be busy making smoke forecasts this summer. One Forest Service researcher who asked to remain anonymous says the agency's closure plan lacks detail in order to scare people into quitting. A spokesperson says the Forest Service's work to manage forests and wildfires will continue without interruption. John Ryan, KUOW News.
Another gray whale has shown up in an unexpected place. A gray whale was spotted yesterday morning in the Swinomish Channel. This new sighting comes after 3 gray whales recently died in Washington waters. Biologists believe the whales may be wandering inland in search of food. And finally today, more than 140 library systems in Washington, Oregon, and California will come together for what's being dubbed the largest book club on the West Coast. As Noelle Gasca reports, the club's first pick highlights an often forgotten chapter of the region's history.
Between now and May, patrons of over 50 different library systems in Washington will have unlimited digital access to Japanese-American actor George Takei's graphic memoir, They Called Us Enemy. The story follows Takei's childhood as he navigates life at incarceration camps in Arkansas and California during World War II.
What are the forces that have gone into the making of silencing or erasing this kind of history, especially one that's affected our coast so powerfully?
That's Tacoma-based author Tamiko Nimura. Nimura hopes that readers who pick up Takei's memoir start to ask themselves that question as they absorb the story. Readers can join the book club through their online library account. Noelle Gasca, KUOW News.
Next time on Seattle Now, sumo. Sumo has a long history in Seattle, but with a massive gap in years following Japanese incarceration. We'll explore its revival with Rain City Sumo.
I didn't think we could do sumo. I thought you have to be chosen or something, because that's sumo's a Japanese culture. I didn't want to disrespect the culture, so when I knew that we could do it amateurly, I'm like, oh my God.
Hear more Thursday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer's Andy Hurst. I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you later.